it going? There we go. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, Mike. Welcome to Talking Niagara, and welcome to the day. We're going to be leaving early today, 7:45, so don't have a lot of time to really chit-chat, except for the time we got to chit-chat. How about that?
Yes. Well, yeah, I got to scram too. I got to go drop my car off. And but I got to say it. Look what I just found a couple days ago in one of my coat pockets.
What? Is that from last time?
From Tanya Hartford from the 2022 election, October 20. And she was running at that time.
Yeah.
And,
okay. So it proves you don't wear your coat very often, and you should throw it out or donate it.
Well, it's one that I rarely use because it's a windbreaker, and the only time I use it if it's going to rain, if it's cold enough. So back there for a while, I was just going through. I thought it was going to rain, so I guess it's more than just a few days ago. A couple of weeks ago, actually, I found this.
Yeah.
When it was rainy in May, and so I thought, oh wow, I really don't use this one too often. That's 2 years between wears.
Okay, so okay, what's going on here? Okay, all right. Last week, Conservative MP Dean Allison has launched a vaccine injury inquiry. It's on an oddity, but and I didn't know that MPs could do this kind of thing. Seemingly on his own, he set up this inquiry into alleged vaccine injuries, and I'm not saying they haven't occurred. I just find it odd that an MP can do this.
96,000.
Yeah, when I read that, I was pretty confused. But that one goes back a few days too, so I'll have to bring it back up.
And he said yes.
So there's a lot of pressure. You see, okay, go ahead.
Yeah, he said in just a few years ago, this would have been unthinkable to see an elected member of parliament, but after years of suppression and censorship regarding Canada's COVID response, we're finally here, right? And that's what he's wanting to get to.
Well, basically, I kind of looked it up a little bit. Like I haven't read this for a few days now. This one's going back a bit, but so Dean Allison has launched an inquiry investigating COVID vaccines. So what did we find out about COVID vaccines? Well, there was problematic in certain vaccines. The mRNA type of vaccine that everybody's worried about because it wasn't tested was not really the problem. The problems occurred with the AstraZeneca and the Johnson & Johnson, which were more conventional vaccines, conventional type vaccines. And the problems that did occur were very, very minor. There was some incidences of problems, but they were very, very rare. Every vaccine reacts with some portion of the population, but some of these vaccines targeted were I can't remember the issue. Cardiomyositis. I'm not pronouncing that right, but what it is
but I get what I think. I understand what you're talking about.
Yeah, it's an inflation. The heart inflates a bit, and then in older people, it's bad. But it happened among young people, young men particularly, and so it happened in a small amount of men. I don't think there was too many deaths attributed to it, unless you already had a pre-conceived cardo. Oh gosh,
Yeah,
cardomide.
a precondition that led
Yeah,
to the death. Yeah.
yeah, and but the fact that if you got COVID, you're going to have this. Your chances of that happening to you were much greater. So that was the rub here. It may have caused this condition in a small amount of young men, but if those same young men got it, there would be more young men having that condition caused by COVID.
Yeah.
There's been a lot of conspiracy theories, of course, around the vaccines and what they did and what the cover-ups were and everything. But we do not have a whole lot of evidence for a whole lot of people being affected.
The worry, though, is that we've seemingly kicked back 150 years of vaccine in some camps, we've kicked back 150 years of vaccine technology because people are now afraid of using vaccines at all, because it's not whether you're going to get protected from the disease, it's the fact that people don't understand that you put a particular strain of a disease into your body in order to protect your body, because now your body has the ability to fight off that. With the vaccine, your body gets that ability to fight it off. We've seemingly gone back 150 years.
Well, here,
I worry that we're going to get the relaunch of polio, the relaunch of what's it called, yellow fever, and other things. Smallpox.
Well, the thing that was shadowing it right from the very beginning, of course, there's the idea of they denying its existence. They say it's just a flu. It's just a flu. Well, that's impossible because it was the third leading killer of U.S. citizens. Everyone else too, but I looked at the facts for the U.S. For 3 years running, it was the U.S.'s third largest killer behind heart disease and cancer. Cancer and heart disease were 1 and 2. They always are. And all of a sudden, this COVID thing came in number 3.
Yeah.
And it was killing. In 3 years, it killed 1.1 million people in the U.S. It killed in the first year, which was not a complete year, from I think March or April to the end of the year, killed about 250,000 Americans. And to put this in perspective, the worst flu prior to that was in 2018, I think, and it killed 60,000 people, and that was thought to be a nightmare flu. It killed as much as 60,000 people in the United States. So you compare that with the COVID, which was 200 and some thousand people killed by COVID.
Yeah.
No flu. You have to go all the way back to the Spanish flu before you get anything that kills at that rate or that much. Swine flu, all these other flu scourges that hit the United States, bird flu, swine flu, did not kill nearly at that rate. But there is a lot of conspiracy saying it's just a flu and it's a big hoax. And you know what I mean? That always happens when you know what I mean? That's just, anyway, the origin, there was problems with the origins. That still is. And I remember Fauci saying, we think it came from the market, but we are not sure.
Yeah.
We're not sure. So that it may have come from the labs.
Yeah. And the fact that there was a lab out there in that Chinese town that was dealing with, experimenting in this stuff was highly suspicious.
Well, it was supported by other countries in the world in their experimentation. Yeah. And the reason why they used that lab in Wuhan is because it's close to sources of bats and things like that.
Yeah.
This was a well-known lab that did work for the whole world. American money was in there, British money, other people, other countries' monies were doing it because they had the lab facility to do that. Whether or not something leaked out of that seems to be more and more the sort of the analysis now, that this may have most probably leaked out of this lab. But I've never heard complete evidence for this. You know,
it's just rumor.
So of course everybody's weird and getting their conspiracy boots on. But anyway, what was happening? This is probably a response to that, the conspiracies. Now, how well this is going to go down, how well or scientific this research is going to happen, this investigation by
I suspect it's not, because I suspect it's going to be a collection of empirical evidence, people giving stories about my nana died because of whatever, my uncle died because of whatever, that type of thing. I don't see it, because he's not framing it as a scientific inquiry.
Yeah, but I don't know. Seriously, I don't know how far this is going to go and what's going to do. I have a feeling he's launching an inquiry into the COVID vaccine injuries. Every vaccine is not flawless.
Yeah.
It would be nice to know the numbers. And I don't know what AI would think about this. I'll just ask it,
Well, yeah, I've got the chat.
How many COVID injuries are reasonable or reliable information on that?
But this is a vaccine inquiry, not about COVID injury, COVID death.
It's vaccine. It's COVID-19 vaccines were treated. Reliable public health data establishes that serious medical injuries from COVID-19 vaccines are extremely rare, occurring roughly 5 to 11 cases per 100,000, approximately 0.005% to 0.11% of all doses, while mild short-term side effects like arm soreness and slight fever affect up to 92% of the recipients. Yeah.
But again, how many people? It doesn't matter whether you're getting a shot for COVID, the flu, or yellow fever. You're going to come away with an arm ache.
Here you go. Verified. Here's the thing. Verified compensation claims in Canada's vaccine impact assistance program. So they have a program. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Out of tens of millions of doses, 3,557 total claims were submitted. Following the independent medical board assessments, 252 claims were officially approved as verified vaccine injuries. That's a very small amount.
Yeah, well, exactly. So that's a very small amount. That's a very low one. And okay, so you did cover a part of the issue, is that how many people even know this exists, right? That program exists, right?
And here's one. It says 11,702 serious adverse reports were registered out of nearly 100 million shots.
Yeah.
This translates to 0.011% of all administered doses. And so there you go. There seems to be very little solid evidence. Now here is the myocarditis. That's what I was trying to come up with. Myocarditis and the pericarditis. Heart muscle inflammation is a rare risk seen primarily in young males within 14 days of receiving the mRNA vaccine booster series. A large-scale reviews by the CDC and international researchers show that the risk of developing myocarditis from an actual COVID-19 infection is 42 times higher than the risk from the vaccine.
Yeah.
So, and of course, there is that problem with AstraZeneca had that one thing where immune thrombotic it was too big for me to read, was linked primarily to the early viral vaccines.
I don't think the AstraZeneca shot should have been withdrawn. They were being overcautious with that.
Yeah, they were being overcautious.
It was a few dozen cases, and that was it. They withdrew it.
Yeah, they withdrew it, but the fact of the matter is the other vaccines all showed minor problems like AstraZeneca did later on, and they didn't withdraw them. It's whoever showed the problems first were the ones that were going to be withdrawn. And then after that, they weren't going to be withdrawn. So Johnson & Johnson had the same problems as AstraZeneca because they were the old-fashioned vaccine type. They were not the mRNA type.
Yeah, I was going to have one of the old-fashioned vaccines when I knew they were stable enough, and one of the mRNA. I ended up having to have two of the mRNA because they were not releasing traditional vaccines.
I had AstraZeneca, no problem. I had the other two mRNA ones, no problem. I had 5 altogether.
Yeah, I had my 2. I'm not a fan of going up for refills. Anyway, moving on. Strong mayor powers and are being under question, and many municipal leaders are pushing back against them. Their powers allow, one of the key factors is hire and fire senior municipal staff, propose and veto certain bylaws, set council agenda, which I thought the mayor always did anyway. Pass some bylaws with support from 1/3 of the council, provided they relate to provincial priorities such as housing, and exercise greater control over municipal administration.
Well, here we go. Basically, the strong mayor powers that the warnings that we've all had about a shift towards authoritarianism is rearing its ugly head in the strong mayor's powers. Yeah. We find that the strong mayor powers were introduced in order to accelerate housing. That's what we're told were the main issues here. You can get over the NIMBY stuff. Get these. There was too much red tape. There was too much bureaucratic muddling, and there was too much in the NIMBY thing, not in my backyard, that councillors were too timid to green light housing. So the Ontario says, look, we need housing, we need it bad, so let's accelerate that program by giving the mayors strong mayor powers. That's one of the things they did to sort of accelerate that. Well, now, we find that the strong mayor's powers have been used 4,200 times, and only 2% of those times has it had anything to do with housing.
Yeah,
they've fired people. We heard all about this last week when we covered this. They're firing people that they don't like. They're like the mayors, and now some of them are acting like little potentates, and it's not working out very well, is it? So there is some real problems with this.
Yeah.
And some of the mayors are trying to turn down those powers, and they, as long as they don't accept them in the first place. And here's Mike's right. Strong mayor powers were never voted on, and this was shoved down our throats after the election. Quite right. Yeah. Now, of course, they're and we still need another Ferris.
Him and his damn Ferris wheel.
Yeah. Yeah, we need a strong mayor powers. We need the strong mayor powers to make a directive for a gigantic Ferris wheel, one that goes up into the stratosphere.
I'll tell you what we do. We hang a nice wheel across. We hang a nice rod across between the US and Canada, and we have access to this nice new London Eye-size wheel, and you put on alternative coaches. You see, one first coach is Canada, second coach is US side. So you can only stay on, get in and out of your side of the wheel.
Well, yeah, I thought that too. We could have a giant Ferris wheel that goes across the river, kind of, and then, uh, But I'm thinking big here. The one I have envisioned, you're going to have to take oxygen with you to go up to the very top.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Okay. Yeah, you'll need some real strong mare powers for that one.
Yeah. Well,
And you'll have more strength than actually will the mayor of Niagara Falls, New York.
yeah.
He'll
Well,
say, "There's no way I can get that one through."
well, that's the big problem. Of course, is these mayor powers have turned into be an ugly thing, haven't they?
Yeah.
4,200 issuances of the strong mayor power, and only 2% have are housing related, and that was the whole point of them in the first place.
Well, and the vast majority of them, as we've seen, have been about the right to hire and fire, particularly the right to fire.
Yeah, they fired a town CEO who was about to start his job, and the mayor decided, oh no, I don't want him, I'll fire him. But this was decided by council.
Yeah.
Right. And during the hiring process.
Yeah.
So now, how does council sort of readdress this with the housing thing? The other with the budget and that 2/3 of the council can vote against it and stop the budget from moving on. But I didn't really look into the other parts of like when the strong powers came, they spoke specifically about the budget and certain things in the budget were related to housing. So the mayor's budget can come up and the mayor can force it down everybody's throat. But at least the council has, if they can come up with 2/3 majority, then they can turn that back. I think 60% they need. They can turn that back, and it has to be redressed. But it said nothing about these other powers that they can so ostensibly the mayor doesn't like Burgess, our CEO. And says, okay, I don't like you anymore. I'm going to get rid of you. And I got this pal. He's going to be the new CEO. You see what I mean? So if they have the right, if they can fire somebody like that.
Well, and we come from the one region where we had in the 2018, election in the 2018 to 22 period, we had that issue, which should have been an eye opener that says you don't need this kind of corruption going down, right?
I don't know what you could do. I can understand the reasoning. I can understand the reasoning. Give the mayor strong powers and accelerate housing. And I can understand in order for the council to rebuke them, you need 2/3. However, what we found out that this is a bit of a problem that the mayors seem have the potential of abusing their authority. And when you have that you're taking a step towards authoritarianism there. Yeah, that's not good for our democracy. If our democracy is too slow and ponderous, you're going to have to fix it in other ways.
Well, it bothered me when I saw the council, and I forget over what issue. I saw the council make a decision. One of the councillors stood up and said, "Well, I don't know too much about this particular issue right now, and I would like staff to go and find out more about it. Give us some informed material." And somebody else said, "Nope, we need to vote on it." And of course, then that person said, "Okay, I'm voting."
Well, I don't know what the particular incident is and why that person was not well informed. Yeah. Okay, but it is up to the counselor to be informed. If the counselor cannot be well informed in a short period of time, they can make that an issue. You've given us 500 pages 2 days ago to go through, and we want to vote on it today. Not possible, and if the other ones want to, but you can that kind of thing. So, I mean, it's all down to common sense. And what did Mike say there?
He was talking about red tape.
We need a dictionary to find the meaning of red tape from one government to the next. Yeah, there's red tape and overregulation, and that there. To be fair, yeah, that's true. And there's a hell of a lot of NIMBY stuff. Okay, you want to build an apartment, low income apartment, or a nonprofit apartment. No, not here. It's too close to my house. Could put it over there. You know what I mean? I don't want it here, so I get influence in that kind of thing. So ostensibly, the mayor could say, "No, we need it there," and I'll just that kind of thing. And but if you want to compare it to a little bit of something like in France, the president Macron, right? The president of France has extraordinary executive powers that they're used to those, though, but there are restraints on them. Do you want extraordinary executive powers here in municipalities? Will it work here? It works in France in their type of democracy, but will it work here? I don't think so. If you have problems with red tape or like health and safety, like Mike just put up here, there's got to be ways in which to address it in other ways. We find that the strong mayor's powers have real problems. Anyway, what else we got?
Yeah. Okay. So moving on from that one. So Emirates has slashed 40,000 seats from their airline in June, and basically other airlines are following suit because Air India, has cut 22% of long haul flights. WestJet has eliminated 15 transborder routes. Air Canada has actually cut back on several cross-border and domestic routes. And Lufthansa have also trimmed their short-haul schedule and other 20,000 other European flights. So this whole industry is going through turmoil right now because of fuel prices.
Yes. Well, this is another result of that dumbass war by dumbass people. Basically, the whole idea that somehow they didn't figure out that the Straits of Hormuz would be closed off as a result of this war is like, it just is unbelievable in my mind that they didn't anticipate this. I mean, it's in according to what I see, it's in just about every war games when it talks about Iran. That's the number one thing they're going to do is cut off the Straits of Hormuz. And that's exactly what they did. So the greatest military power of all time, with its greatest military power of the Middle East of all time, that's Israel, cannot get the Straits of Hormuz open and restore global economy. And that what's happening is this is showing up now in the UAE, where the UAE is a hub, an international hub for air transport. It's kind of like O'Hare Airport, or the UAE airport is a place where a lot of people transit to and from. It's a good place for transit, to disembark and then re-embark on another plane. So it has gone down. It's lost 40,000 of its seats. India has lost a lot of its seats. It cannot employ it. They don't have enough fuel. There's not enough economy to keep that going because of the damn war. And that is the smallest effect we have on the world. What we find is fertilizer that's needed in the United States, of all places, isn't getting there, right? The fertilizer is much more needed in West Africa or East Africa and other places in the world. It means life or death in a lot of places, depending on what kind of harvest they're going to have. They can't get the diesel to run pumps that they need and fuel and that. So you're looking at a huge nightmare in the developing world. We don't even look at that. All we look at is, oh, our plane prices are going to go up and our gas prices are going to go up.
What we complain about is the fact that, hey, we're complaining about the fact that I paid $1.67 last night for gas, and we complain about that. Well, actually, I was thinking about that when I was filling up at $1.67 last night, and I'm thinking to myself, yeah, but this actually isn't. When I came to Canada, the price of gas in the UK was actually still higher than the price of gas here in Canada right now.
Look, the price of a liter of gas on average was $1.25 in and around this area before the war. It went up to about 190 and then it's come back to 160, as you said. I've been able to get it in the 150s, but it's still over 25 cents per liter more than before the war.
It is. But when I left the UK, the price was 97. When I left the UK, the price was 97 pence per liter. And this is prior to there being any war in the Straits of Hormuz. This was just normal price of gas, right? So it was 97 pence per liter, so just about £1 per liter, which made it $2 a liter. So I always think back to the time, and I'm thinking to myself, I'm not paying $2 a liter. I'm grateful that I'm not paying $2 a liter for this fuel.
Well, that's I don't follow your logic there, because all things are relative. If you're not paying $2 a liter, that's because Canada is a wealthier country and we've got all kinds of our own gas and oil.
No,
you know what I mean? You might find it different, but this is caused by a war. I know. A war that it was brought about singularly, and they got themselves into a real problem. Bibi Netanyahu finally sucked in a president to attack Iran. He's been trying to get the presidents of the United States to attack Iran for 35 years, and he finally found the dummy to do it.
Yeah.
And now we're stuck with the consequences of that.
Yeah, I know.
Like the big dummy, bought it hook, line, and sinker, and now he doesn't know how to get out of it. And the American people have to pay a lot more for fertilizer, a lot more for aluminum, and a lot more for gasoline and oil. It's just like, how does the big dummy get out of this? I don't know.
Yep.
Will Netanyahu allow him to get out of it? Netanyahu wants him to go full throttle. He wants a lot of American blood and treasure to be directed towards destabilizing Iran. So
I think you'll find you're right. They must know something. Yeah. I'll tell you where we're doing it. It's right from the very outset, Rick. It's about, the whole tariff thing was all about cause a slide in the stock market, release the tariffs, cause the stock market to come back up. And your friends buy and sell at appropriate times. This is the insider trading president, right?
Oh, yeah,
everything
definitely.
He's doing is about insider trading. I'm going to pull no holds barred on that, right?
Look, the Biden crime family has nothing on the Trump crime family. Exactly. It is amazing. A conservative commentator who had been sort of leaning towards Trump ascension. He's actually a historian. He commented on, I was watching him, and he commented on, he compared the Hunter Biden's grift compared to Jared Kushner's and Trump's himself and the other Trump sycophants that are making huge amounts of money. I mean, Trump is way better at it than Biden ever was. You kind of think to yourself, well, who wants to be the president, and for what reason? Did Biden want to be the president because he's going to enrich his family And Trump, does he want to be the president because he's going to enrich his family? Obviously, both of them did.
Yeah. Okay, let's ask this question, right? Aren't we paying 47% taxes on our gasoline? Quite, Karen. Absolutely, we are. The thing I was raising about the UK prices is we were paying 87 cents a litre on tax on our gasoline price. So there you go.
Yes, we are paying that tax, but the inflated cost right now is due to that war.
Yeah.
Right. So the 47%,
they've reduced the tax by some.
Yeah, they've taken 10 or 15% off the liter of gas that we don't see, because it would be 10 cents more per liter at least if the Fed hadn't removed some of the taxes off of it.
Yeah.
But the primary reason why our gas prices are so high is because of the foolish war.
Yeah. All right, we've got to move on, Dave. Ontario has imposed limitations on the Niagara Peninsula Conservation Authority and other similar type of authorities in Ontario. So they're imposing strict limitations on the NPCA and other conservation authorities by prohibiting specific transactions and actions during their forced amalgamation into 9 new regional entities. These restrictions are designed to prevent the sale of assets, major financial shifts before the creation of new regional authorities, including Western Lake Ontario Regional Conservation Authority and others, right? So there's prohibited transactions because of the shift in how they're doing this. They're now stopping the purchasing and selling of property, the hiring and firing of staff, the changing of bylaws. Various capital projects are all coming to an end.
Well, yeah, so everything is being arrested for the moment while Niagara Peninsula Authority combines with other authorities in and around here, Hamilton and Haldimand County. They're going to become regional now. So there's going to be 9 regional conservation authorities that combine with. So the Niagara one, of course, will be combined with Hamilton and West Lincoln. I don't know what other ones. So it seems to be an effort to sort of streamline it, maybe make it a little more efficient. But I can't see bigger government being more efficient, to tell you the truth. But anyway, a bigger bureaucracy is going to be more efficient. I doubt it. But anyway, so this seems to be the attempt. I don't hear too many complaints about it. Did you?
No, I'm not seeing complaints. I'm just saying that there probably are some complaints. This is really the first I've actually heard too much about this, to be honest.
No, I haven't heard. This was a bit of a surprise to me too.
Yeah.
That so right now, of course, it's putting restrictions on the Conservation Authority, but will those restrictions maintain after the amalgamation happens?
Yeah.
So
you see, we've always had Niagara Provincial Conservation Authority has always touched on the edge of Hamilton, because places like Stony Creek are part of NPCA land, but it makes sense to actually add Haldimand County in amongst that group.
It's not like it's adding. It's not like it's adding. It's combining. So Haldimand County's got their own conservation authority, and Hamilton's got its, and the Niagara Peninsula Authority has over, of course.
Well, it would combine those into that peninsula. That it would into the whole peninsular area.
Yeah. So here, so it says right off the bat here, Chief Administrative Officer Leanne Lee Yates says Niagara Peninsula Conservation Authority needs to speak to provincial officials about its planned purchase of properties after the government imposed restrictions as Ontario's 36 conservation authorities amalgamate. Now, as far as I know, they're going to amalgamate into 9 regional areas.
Yeah.
And but in the meantime, the Niagara Conservation Authorities have plans to purchase certain properties. And we know what the conservative government is like when it comes to buying up green lands and conservation areas. It don't seem to like it too much. So I don't know. They're going to have a talk with them anyway. Can we go ahead with these? Well, everything is suspended pending amalgamation. So Ontario government is prohibiting conservation authorities of buying or selling property, initiating capital projects, or establishing any contracts valued more than $500,000 until next February. The province is establishing these guardrails, says Leanne Lee Yates, Niagara Peninsula Conservation Authority Chief Administrative Officer, to minimize risk as Ontario's 36 conservation authorities amalgamate. So I guess they're just, making sure there'll be no mistakes or no rash decisions made. I'm not so sure. It says Niagara, the NPCA will be merging with Hamilton Conservation Authority, Conservation Halton, it'll be the Halton County, right? And Credit Valley Conservation Authority to form the Western Lake Ontario Conservation Authority. So it's going to be a much bigger one. Will that enhance it? I don't know. It might be a good idea to amalgamate resources in and around like the areas in and around here that are very similar. Yeah.
Haldeman County also makes sense because that it's a kind of an artificial line across the region.
Halton County. It's just
Halton. Yeah, but Halton is different because that's a different area. That's the other side of the lake.
Halton and Credit Valley. So I thought it was Haldeman. It doesn't say Haldeman. It says Halton.
It's kind of the other side of the lake.
Yeah, so, okay. All right, we'll find out then. Going up to the Credit River. Wow.
Okay, so Karen says it has been in the news for at least 6 months. And so, I'm sorry, Karen, we've obviously slipped in our observation of this. Thank you for kicking us in the ass.
Yeah, I did. I missed. I remember seeing stuff about the NPCA, but I didn't. No, I didn't pick up on that at all. And I'm reading the newspapers all the time for the show. Yeah. Somehow it's so fast.
And I'm always looking for local news. And I don't know how this will slipped by us. Yeah.
Well, we're gonna have to elevate Karen to reporter of Talking Niagara, principal correspondent.
All right.
You are now officially a correspondent for Talking Niagara, Karen. Right up there with Gary Wilkins and Mike Cushman.
Yeah. All right. Yeah.
Your check is in the mail.
Not. I haven't. I hope it's in the mail to me because I haven't countersigned it.
Yeah. I just give this here another look. That was from. I wonder if Tanya's gonna jump in this year.
Yeah, I don't know.
Council.
But by all indications, probably not. All right. And okay, so we're gonna have to call it quits at that point, Dave.
Yeah, I gotta go myself. Anyway, we have a shortened show this week, and just before I go, I remind everybody about Gaza again, which is a terrible cesspool of depravity there by the Israeli government and the IDF, West Bank as well, what they're doing to southern Lebanon. I just feel that if Israel wants to fit in with the democracies of the world, that is its biggest claim. It's the only democracy in the Middle East. Well, it sure isn't acting like one, is it? Like South Africa was a democracy as long as you were white. Before Mandela got in power. Right now, you have 9 million people occupied, put in very difficult positions. They don't have a vote. They don't have any kind of rights at all. Israel is an apartheid state and is a very aggressor state. And if it wants to be a part of the family of democratic nations, it's going to have to behave like one.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's not coming soon because you've got weaklings like Biden and Trump. Biden and Trump just bail when it comes to that. They just kind of, just kind of sort of shake their fist a bit and then kind of hide and hand Netanyahu some more money and more bombs. Anyway, without further ado, I bid you adieu. Pray for peace.
Yeah.